It's the innocent that suffer at the hands of the incompetence and the corruption of this government, and I'm saying this not to be hyperbolic. People have blood on their hands right now. I'm thinking Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, has blood on her hands. Eric Adams, Mayor of New York, has blood on his hands. Joe Biden has blood on his hands. It turns out now that the nursing student in Georgia, Laken Riley, who was killed, found dead with blunt force trauma to the head while jogging one morning. It turns out that the suspect, who has now been arrested, is an illegal immigrant, and not just an illegal immigrant that entered recently, an illegal immigrant that had been arrested and detained in New York on charges of something to do with a minor. I'll get to that in a second. He was arrested and detained, but because New York City is a sanctuary city, apparently they didn't cooperate with ICE to notify ICE that they had arrested an illegal immigrant, and he was released only to go and then kill Laken Riley. And while you have Eric Adams boasting about how nice it is that New York is a sanctuary city, while he's silently, or at least quietly, shipping illegal immigrants to the border of Canada, buying them bus tickets, saying go into Canada.
New York is giving free bus tickets to asylum seekers to take them upstate near the border with Canada. City officials say it's to help the migrants, but some believe it's just a way to get them out of the United States altogether.
Each day, dozens of asylum seekers make the trek to Roxham Road to cross from the U.S. into Canada. And it now seems some head north to the irregular border crossing with the help of a free bus ticket, courtesy New York City.
Well, you have Letitia James sitting there trolling Donald Trump on Twitter, tweeting out her award, her ridiculous, insane, astronomical, malicious prosecution, as far as I'm concerned, award. And then the day later, she's tweeting out the ridiculous interest on that award. She takes to Twitter to troll, to boast about her prosecutorial misconduct while neglecting the state. And they release an illegal immigrant who then commits another crime. And this time it's a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia who has to be the victim of government corruption, incompetence, and I will say malice. ICE confirms Georgia student murder suspect entered U.S. illegally, was previously arrested in New York City. Jose Ibarra, arrested by NYPD in September 2023 for child endangerment, but released before detainer issued. Blood on your hands. Blood on your hands, Biden. Blood on your hands, Eric Adams. And blood on your hand, Letitia James. Are you going to go to Twitter today and tweet about this? Tweet about how New York released a criminal, an illegal immigrant criminal, who then went on to murder someone in Georgia. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, on Sunday confirmed that the Venezuelan national charged in connection with the murder of a 22-year-old Georgia nursing student, Laken Riley, entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and had previously been arrested in New York City. In a statement to Fox News Digital, ICE confirmed he had been encountered by Customs and Border Protection, CBP, on September 8, 2022 after entering near El Paso and was, quote, paroled and released for further processing, end quote. ICE also confirmed that Ibarra had been arrested by the New York Police Department a year later on September 14, 2023, and, quote, charged with acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17 and a motor vehicle license violation, end quote. Was he also immediately released with no bail like the 5 illegal immigrants who beat up the New York police officer? Do you not see what's going on? I think the problem is you do see what's going on, and to go back to that meme that Joe Biden thoughtfully put out on the internet, yep, it looks like exactly as you wrote it up. When ICE learns that what it believes to be a removable illegal immigrant has been arrested on criminal charges, the agency will normally lodge a detainer, a request asking local law enforcement to keep the suspect in custody until they can be transferred to ICE and put into deportation proceedings. What seems to have happened here? Not that. In this case, however, ICE's statement says Ibarra was released before a detainer could be issued. New York City is also a, quote, sanctuary city, end quote, which generally restricts law enforcement from complying with ICE detainers. Blood on your hands, the whole lot of you. You know, this is very reminiscent of that Obama scandal, the Fast and the Furious, where they were smuggling guns illegally into Mexico, and then a border agent got killed with one of the guns the U.S. government was selling or shipping to the cartels.
In late 2009, ATF agents in Phoenix noticed a flurry of gun purchases in the United States by suspected traffickers from Mexican drug cartels. But instead of stopping the weapons, agents say their superiors ordered them to let the guns cross the border. It's called gun walking, to see where they ended up and see if they would lead to a major drug cartel leader. Then, in December 2010, 2 Fast and Furious rifles turned up at the murder of a Border Patrol agent in Arizona, Brian Terry. The Justice Department publicly insisted no gun walking had gone on.
The corrupt government breaks the law or doesn't respect the law, and who suffers the consequences? The citizens. Yep, just like we drew it up to go back to that Biden meme, and I hope that meme lives forever as it should. I was just re-listening to an interview Trump gave to Aaron Burnett, of all people, 8 years ago. Remember when he was taking endless flack for having suggested that the people coming over the borders are rapists, murderers, they're not sending their best. I'm sure some of them are good people, but they're not sending their best. There have been reports that the crime in Venezuela is going down because of the amount of criminals that are fleeing Venezuela to cross the border into America. But at the time when Trump had the audacity to state the obvious back in 2016, he took flack left, right, and center, which kind of means that he was over the target. And what are we witnessing now? Exactly what Trump was talking about 8 years ago when they were talking about $7 billion being expensive to build a border wall while they're shipping $200 billion to the Ukraine. Now, it's outrageous. The neglect, the outright incompetence and corruption. Biden gets into office. What was a problem when Trump got into office in 2016 is now tenfold the problem it was back then.
Now, on immigration, in the poll, that was an area of weakness for you. You have been widely criticized, Donald, as you know, for offending immigrants in your announcement speech. I want to just play again exactly what you said in that speech. Here you are.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
Now, you've tried to clarify this statement in recent days, Donald, but I guess the question comes down to this. Do you regret saying that specifically about rapists, or do you stand by it?
No, not at all. Of course, it's not only Mexico. If you let that run a little bit longer, it talks about people coming from all over. They're coming from all over.
But you don't want to be politically incorrect. You don't want to be racist. So when you catch those illegal immigrants for having, what was it, endangered a child under 17, you better release them right away. You don't want to cooperate with ICE because you're a sanctuary city. You are good, respectful people. You are tolerant. You just send the criminals to go somewhere else to kill a 22-year-old girl, blood on your hands. We will see how long the legacy media talks about this incident or does not talk about this incident. I think it's going to get enough attention that it's going to highlight what is a patent problem that is exponentially worse now than it was 4 years ago, that is actually so serious now, some people might say they don't even see a solution to it. Others might have their heads so far in the sand, they're going to say, don't pay attention to this case. It's racist. It's bigoted to do so. We have citizens who commit murder. Yeah, you do. The thing is, though, you can't control the citizens who commit murder, but you sure as hell can control the illegal immigrants that come into the country illegally, get arrested, then get released because you are a holier-than-thou sanctuary city that is now responsible for the death of a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia. That is it. We're just going to end this vlog by listening to the words, the prophetic words of Donald Trump in 2016. Peace out. Booyah.
It's common sense. They don't want these people, so they send them to the United States because the United States is run by stupid people. We have stupid leadership. We have incompetent leadership that doesn't know what it's doing, so we take them. And certainly we do have killers and plenty of other problems coming over. We take them because other countries don't want them. We're like a dumping ground. The United States, Aaron, is like a dumping ground for the world's problems. So absolutely I wouldn't change that. And they're not just coming from Mexico. They're coming from all over. So certainly you know that's true. And from a common sense standpoint, you know that's true.